Greetings, booktubers, and welcome back to Grammaticus Books. And today we're talking about the Robert E. Howard Conan story, The Frost Giant's Daughter, one of his best ever. In fact, I think it is short storytelling perfection, sword and sorcery short story telling perfection. Here you have it contained in Conan Cimmeria, the Ace edition here. This has got that fabulous painting there by Frank Frazetta that just captures the essence of that story so perfectly. And I'm going to set it right there. And we're going to talk about the hidden or secret origin of this story of the Frost Giant's Daughter that explains the most controversial aspect of it. Again, this story, in my opinion, is short storytelling perfection. It is only 10 pages long, depending on the edition that you have. But in those 10 pages, Robert E. Howard manages to pack more action, adventure, sorcery, and just atmosphere than most authors can pack into a full-length novel. This short story, it has everything. It has a battle between two ancient and implacable foes upon the snowy plains of Nordheim, on the very fringes of the Hyborian world. It has mythical and magical creatures. It has anger, it has passion, it has revenge. It has a Ragnarok-like ending where the gods themselves have to come down and intervene in it. And then it has a full stop period ending to it that is very satisfying. It should be encased in glass and enshrined in the National Archives as the epitome, the pinnacle of perfection of sword and sorcery short storytelling. So when you ask people what the best Conan short story, or I should just say story of all time is, why is it that this one usually gets honorable mention? Why is it that it usually gets pushed out in favor of The Tower of the Elephant, Queen of the Black Coast, or Hour of the Dragon, the only full-length Conan story by Robert E. Howard? Why is it that it comes in just shy of that Mount Olympus of those three short stories there? And it's because of that controversial aspect. And this controversy, this aspect of it that's so upsetting to people, it was so controversial that back in 1934, when Robert E. Howard submitted this story to Weird Tales for publication, it got rejected there by its editor, Farnsworth Wright. And Farnsworth Wright, the legendary editor of Weird Tales, you've got to think about that for a second. Put that into proper perspective. Farnsworth Wright is the editor of a pulp magazine that frequently specialized in tales featuring bondage and whipping of young women. And he won't publish this tale by Robert E. Howard because he's worried about how upsetting it will be to some of his readers. And what is it about this tale that made it so upsetting? What made it so upsetting is that for the majority of this story, the hero of the tale, Conan of Cimmeria, spends much of this story pursuing a young maiden with hostile, amorous intent. I think that's the best way to put it. He is pursuing her across the plains of Nordheim with the intent to impose his lustful will upon her against her will. And this is the aspect of the story that I think knocks it down out of that Mount Olympus and puts it into honorable mention category instead of one of his best stories ever, right up there with Tower of the Elephant. And it's a shame because the secret origin, the hidden origin to this, which is lying right underneath the surface. It's there if you delve down into it, but Robert E. Howard doesn't spell it out for you. You have to dig a little bit. That hidden origin explains away that controversial aspect of the book, of the story, and puts it into the proper perspective in order to appreciate what is actually going on there. So what is the secret origin? What is that hidden origin? Well, it's this right here. It is Homer in the Iliad and the Odyssey from 2,700 years ago. And specifically, it is the tale of Odysseus as he sails past the Isle of the Sirens in order to get home to his wife Penelope as he's sailing home from the Trojan Wars. And he has been advised by Circe on how to get past the island of the Sirens. And Robert E. Howard takes that tale of Odysseus and the Sirens, he takes it in toto, and he drops it here into The Frost Giant's Daughter. And then he puts his own stamp upon it. It adds to it and improves upon it and makes it even better than Homer's Odysseus and the Tale of the Sirens. Now, how the Sirens' tale explains away this aspect of the Frost Giant's Daughter is this. The Sirens are sea nymphs. They are magical sea nymphs, and they sing their siren song, an enchanted song to the sailors who go past their island in their ships, and it ensorcels them to the point where it drives them mad with lust and desire, and they steer their ships directly onto the rocks to get to the Sirens and kill themselves. And the Sirens lure them in with the intent of killing them. Now, Odysseus knows this. He's been advised by Circe about this aspect of the Sirens, and he knows he has to go right by their island to get home to his wife Penelope. So he comes up with a plan in order to defeat the sirens. He puts wax into the ears of his crew, and then he has his crew lash him to the mast of his own ship so that he can listen to this enchanted song, but not be in a position in order to kill himself or the crew in order to get to them. And it works. Homer has Odysseus defeat them by using his brains. Whereas in The Frost Giant's Daughter, Robert E. Howard has reenacted this entire scene. He's taken it from Homer, but with Conan, instead of using brains to defeat the sea nymph here, who is Atali, the Frost Giant's daughter, he has Conan use his inhuman strength, his almost supernatural strength, and his absolute iron will in order to defeat Atali. Atali, who comes to him on the fields of Nordheim after the battle between the Aesir and the Vanir bands, and she absolutely casts her spell upon him. She ensorcels him. She overrides his will and forces him to chase her with lust in his heart. And then she leads him onto her rocks, except her rocks aren't literal rocks. Her rocks are the blades of the axes of her brothers, the Frost Giant, who she uses in order to kill the men that she lures in with her sorcery. So Conan is not acting under his own free will. And I think that is borne out in the rest of the Conan stories by Robert E. Howard. There's not another single Conan story in which Conan ever attempts to force himself upon a woman. It's only here in The Frost Giant's Daughter, and it's only because he has been subjected to the sorcery of Atali, the siren of this tale. And that's what explains this story, this fantastic story. It is absolutely one of my favorite Conan stories of all time. I think it is short storytelling perfection. But that's it. That is the secret and hidden origin of the tale of The Frost Giant's Daughter. It is here from 2,700 years ago. Do you guys think that this is short storytelling perfection? Do you think it's the greatest Conan story of all time? Do you still think that Tower of the Elephant is a superior story to it? Put it down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. And with that, I'm going to wrap this one up and say take care, be safe, and I'll catch you guys next time.